Okay, hi. Um, I'm gonna challenge myself doing all the steps from before, and I'm gonna do it with Blueprint and C++ all together. Like the challenge that I have is printing hello with the Blueprint, with the C++ as well, and even with the key press. So when I press a key, something will print on the screen, and then I can rotate an object. I can move an actor. Even I can use the using a key as well, but doesn't really much matter. It's gonna be the same thing. And then adding a code to the namespace. I do recall that most of the people they don't do it, and if you don't know what namespace is, it's just another file that you create and add the code inside. So basically, it's like a library, and you just keep the notes inside, or you can say like a note, yeah, notes, right? So whenever you wanna get some information, you just open it up or you just access from it. Then we have a trigger to print the message, and trigger is working in the Blueprint, and I'm having a really like small difficulties while learning by myself in C++. So then there's opening a door with an overlap, and we can open the door with a trigger as well. But I don't want to do it in C++, so it should only be in Blueprint. Because this, if I do in C++, it's gonna take a little bit time, and since I'm having a little bit trouble with trigger in the C++, I don't want to do it now. Okay, perfect. Let's start. So this is a project, and when you open Unreal, you get two options to create a project. Either it's going to be Blueprint or C++. Always open it in Blueprint, and you can check the quality preset to be scalable. Since we want the door inside the project, it's already there in the starter content, so I'm just going to include that. Give a name. You can simply say, yeah, my project is good. I don't mind. It's just that when you create your project in C++, what happens is some of the files, like the player character, everything is written in C++, and you cannot utilize that information inside the game itself. I'll tell you why. Let me just create it. I did create some of the videos before, but I was having an issue with my mic and it was suddenly started crashing. Also bought another mic, but the problem is it with driver, so I had to return it. But it's all good. I'm just creating this for myself itself, so yeah. Okay, it's taking its sweet time, right? Okay, so now we are in the project. The thing that I wanted to tell you was when you open the third person like a Blueprint, right? We have this nodes here, like input mapping, we have camera input, we have movement input, we have jump input. So what it will have an effect here is when you create C++ project, these files they just go away. They are all inside the like code. It's not here anymore. It's just that I mean it's good, but it's just that when you wanna take a look at how the player is moving, so you can see literally the information from here. Or what you can do is if you have your own player, you can just simply copy and paste the whole code. It will work. The only thing is that you need to change the action mapping so a little bit later on. And I'll show you how you can do the action mapping. This is already pre-text inside, but I'll just show you in like after I'm done and with the key press thing. Okay, and you see the camera movement here, right? And the camera movement, sorry, my bad. character movement. You see in the character movement we have so many properties like this one's gravity, we have acceleration, we have friction factor, and we have walkable floor angle. Then we have jump z velocity. So when the player jumps, it has this much force on it. If I increase that, the player will jump higher. So those all informations are there. Let me show you. If I open that, no. Okay. So if I create a C++ project, this is what happens. All the information is here. You don't see that in there. For example, I wanted to search for move, right? So let's say move. Not this one. Or let's say jump z velocity. It's already here, right? Okay, let's search for mass. It's not on the bottom. Let's search on the top. Not there either. Maybe a different value. But yeah, you have most of the information set it here. So it's hard for you to, edit some of the values inside. For example, if you want to invert the camera axis, you can simply do so by connecting to one another. I mean, that's how you can do it. Or you just simply copy that inside a menu project, and in the widget you can simply invert the whole thing and call it. Okay, good. So now that's settled. Let's just close this one. Let's go content. I'll just create a new folder, challenge, and I'll just create a new blueprint, and it's going to be an actor. I'll just say print. So now we come in the event graph. We don't need to put anything inside. If you want to put, doesn't matter much. Let's put something here. I don't know what should I put. Okay, let's put plain. And let's add a text as well. When you go to add, just add search for text. You see this text renderer? Just open that up. And now you have text here on the right side in the details panel. Just change the name like first file. Okay. Let's say print blueprint. Okay, great. So now we have print blueprint. So now we know that when I put this inside the project, I know where it is. So let's just add a node in the begin play. Search for oh yes, the music is the spot. Okay, let's search for print. When I search for print, I see two functions, string and text. Select string, or you can either select both of them. Both of them will do the same thing. The only difference is, for example, I want to introduce a text renderer, and I'll just say set text. I can set the text, but this is going to be the same data type. I cannot set the string. Look at the color, it's purple, and look at this color, it's text. So yeah, those are different data types. The text is used for UI purpose. Let me just close that. Yeah. So when you use the text, it's mainly used in the UI. And for the string, we're just gonna say hello from Blueprint. And let's just change this to 5. Yeah, that color is good. Compile and save it. And oh, my bad. Let me just add it here somewhere. And let me display it. So now you see we have hello on the left side, and it's a printing Blueprint. Yep. And this is done. So now let's do the same thing in C++. Do keep in mind when you create your new C++ into Blueprint, if you have a Blueprint project, when you create a C++ for the first time, it's going to take a lot of time because it's adding a couple of files inside for performing that like operations that you set. Let's say my print actor, and when I hit create, it's gonna take like at least 2 minutes. So by the time, what I normally do is I just go through the information that I had before. So since I already know that we cannot use print string, so let me just note it down. So the first time when we did for the first thing, I can say like this. So for the first Blueprint we did was begin play. We did inside the begin play we did added the text, right? So we say print string. Hold on, give me one moment. Okay, so yeah, now I'm back. So earlier we did was print string, right? So I just keep a notes that this is the information that I created before and I want to learn that. So yep, now the project is done. It says project now includes the source files. Please close the editor and build your project from ID. So let's say okay, and I cannot edit the code now, so what's the purpose of me opening the code right now? Because it says that do I want to edit the code? No, I'll just say no. And you see we have one unsaved file. It's because of the Blueprint. Simply save that for now. Once it's saved, just restart, because we need to have a recompile button here. Since we don't have it, we'll just close the editor and open it up. Give me a second. Epic Games, library, my project, close that. Now it's asking me to rebuild it. I'll just say yes. And in the second challenge, we're gonna do the same thing. We need print string, but we need to print the string from what? With a key. So we'll say E key. I mean, you can assign any key, doesn't really matter. You can either do an E key or you can simply set a button to it. Like the default button is space for jump, so you can set a default button as well, or you can set default, let's say button, doesn't matter much. So once it starts building, where is that? I don't see any building going on. I'll just say yes again. Could not be compiled. Try rebuilding from source manually. This happens sometimes. It's because I already started the build before and it was taking a little bit time. Yeah, my GPU and CPU temperature looks good. I don't think so it's because of that. Maybe I have yeah, I don't have much space. Maybe because of that, I don't know. Okay, let it be for now. So we need a default button. We will assign some action, some name to it. Let's call E for magic. So I'll just say magic. Or let's say summoning. Yeah, summon. Sorry. So now you see we have C++ files on the corner. When I open it, I see my print active here. And we also have a recompile button. So when I open this one, it's gonna take like a minute or so to get open and get loading. Okay, so it did open, and in Unreal we don't have a print string. I can simply search here like the information that I want is print string. Print string. Oh, I don't see the snippets coming up. Okay, yeah. No, I don't want to do the survey now. So we don't have print string. It's because that is a different function. You see, when I open the blueprint, you see it's itself is a function that puts the information out. So we have that information inside Unreal, but it's called something else. It's called game engine. So the game engine represents, I'll just say hash include engine. Then we'll just add the header file for the game engine. So now we have the game engine for the header file. We can simply say if the game engine is valid, then we just need to print game engine. You just need to print like when you access a number of your file, we do this. And put members list, like all the functions from within. So now we have this message of a function actually to call from. Wait. This is going on. Okay. I think the mic was cracking a little bit up, so yeah, sorry for that. Okay, so now we are in the game engine. We just need to access a couple of values. Here we see this option called message, right? So we'll just type in message and see what informations we get. We have clear on-screen debug message, we have draw on-screen debug messages, and we have add on-screen debug message. We'll just do that, add on-screen. The information we want to pass is the key, time. Like, what the hell? It just went away. Okay, one more time. Yeah. So we have key, we have time, we have color, and just like here. So this is the string, the text. We have the text color and the duration and the key. When you don't give any key, that means it's empty. Like if you don't provide it, it will say it will replace with an existing key. So we want to give it a unique key. It should be -1. Then we give it time. Let's call the time to be 5 seconds. And color. In order for us to say the color, we cannot simply say black. It should be F color. And then we want to access the color values. In this case, we can select black. And we just simply give the text on the list. So this time the text will be hello. And now we are done. So now we save the file, we go back, and not here. Sorry. Okay, great. So let's add a new blueprint. Oh, yeah. As soon as you save the C++ file, you can either restart your engine or you just recompile it from here. So when you recompile, you will either see an error if you have any, but currently we don't have any errors, so it's all good. Okay, let's add a new blueprint. We'll not create an actor. This time what we will do, we'll use our C++ file to create the whole thing. So not that, my print actor. And I'll just say print C. So now when you open it, it will show you the C++ file that we created. Okay, great. So let me just show you what's the real difference between both of them. You can simply use your C++ and drag it inside the project. Now you see we have my print actor. When I play, it will display the information. It is great and all, but since you will be creating much more than text, I don't recommend simply dragging your C++ on the project. So you need to create a blueprint for that. So I'll just simply drag the blueprint inside and I'll just simply hit play. So now we have hello from C++ again. Let's do the same thing. Let's copy those and put it in here. Oh yeah, this happens. What you can do is simply use this keyword for open full editor, because it doesn't contain any information. That's why sometimes the Unreal does that. I'll just simply paste the same thing, and I'll change the text to print C++. Great. Let's close it. So now you see we have C++ as well. But I think the names are in the reverse section. But it doesn't matter too much to me. It's overlapping. It still bugs me, so I'll just change that rotation to the opposite side. Let me see which axis do I need to work on. Yeah, I need to work on the other way around. Okay. So now we have blueprint here. Let's open this one. Let's change the text. Again, you can simply ignore me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can ignore the steps if you want. I just do it for fun purpose. Yeah, that looks nice. Compile and save it. Close this. So now you see we have those two. Okay, let's create a new one. So I'll just put that in a new folder. Print first. Or I'll just say first. And I'll just copy those, move those. And I'll just create a new folder, second. And this one we're gonna do for the key. And I'll just simply select an actor again. And name it print E. Because I'm gonna use E as a printing method. Okay. Let's search for keyboard. So when you search for keyboard, you see we have lots of different key inputs. These are all key inputs. You see one, when I press one, something happens. So you can select any keyboard that you want. It's just to demonstrate that you have lots of different keys. So we have E key. So when I press E key, it will do some action, and when I lift my finger from E, it will do another action. So let's say I want to print a string, and the string should say print E key is pressed. And let me just change the color to somewhat like that. And let me change that to 5. And I'll just close it down, copy it, paste it, and I'll say E key is released. E key is released. And I'll change the text to some other color. Yeah, that looks good. So now you see we have a really nice information showing in the display. But let's try to put that inside the project. Now when I'm pressing E, nothing happens. It's because that this E key is used inside an actor, so only an actor can access this two functions from E. Since we want this E key to be pressed by the player, what we do is simply select the actor and search for input in the details panel. When you search for input, you see this auto receive input. Select that, select any player. Like in our case, we only have one player, so we are gonna select player 0. And when I hit compile and save, now when I play it, I'm pressing E, it says E key is pressed. When I'm reeling my finger from it, it says E key is released. And it's great. Let's just have the same display from before. Let's copy those two, and I'll just print it on the default scene root. And I'm just gonna change the text renderer to something else. Let me close that. I'll say print key blueprint. Just don't give me one more minute. I got a call. Okay, hi there. So, yeah, sorry. I got a really big call from a friend. It went too long, but it's okay. Okay, great. So the print key blueprint is done. Let's just compile and save it for now. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you was you can use an action key. So if you want to use an action, what we do is we go to edit and go to project settings, and here when you scroll down you see an input. Select that, and it says it's been now deprecated, so that means it's no longer in use because it's been replaced by the enhance input actions. But you know what, like just for general purpose, we're gonna use it, and it's really easy to use this one rather than using the enhance input. Let's go to the action mapping. You can select that, and we can assign a name. Right now let's say summon, just like we put it inside the notes. So now we have summon here, so we'll just open that, and then we have an option to select which key we want. Either we can search it from here, we can even say from gamepad, and you can add multiple keys that represent the same thing. So I can assign multiple keys here. That's the beauty of it, because what happens here is, for example, I want to print the text, this one, but if I want to use another key, right, let's say F key, when I search for F, I'll get that, and I can do that same thing here. But look at that, it's like a messy representation. I mean, it's so ugly. So instead we use an action mapping. And where the hell it gone? Yeah, here. So you can assign multiple keys to that, and I just want to use one key, but for the sake of this tutorial I'll just use two keys. So I'll just be using Q, and let's say 1. So now I'm using 1 as well. Yeah, great. So let's just compile and save it, and let's go back, and we can search for summon. So as soon as I search for summon, you see we have an input action event. You can open that. It will have the same action as this one, E and release. Pressed and released. So we can assign the same information to that. So just for demonstration purpose, I'm just gonna copy those, and I'm gonna paste it here, and I'll just drag that here, and I'll say, okay, just let it be as E, but I'll say S. Q is pressed, and Q is pressed. Q is released. Yeah. Let's save it, compile it. Let's go back. Perfect. So now we already have the print Q blueprint. Let's just play it. So now I'm pressing E. It says E key is pressed. When I release it, it says E key is released. How about the action? I'm pressing Q. It says Q key is pressed, and I'm just releasing it. Now I'm pressing 1. It says Q key is pressed again, because it displays the same information, and it's performing the same actions. So we can assign multiple keys into an action. Okay, great. So because we use input action to perform same information, for example, you have two different characters, and one is mage, one is like a normal combat guy. So when you press Q on the normal combat guy, he will like use his sword to swing around, and when I press Q on the mage, because mage doesn't have a weapon on hand, he only has this like a stick or something that creates magic stuff. So when I press Q inside the magic guy, it will do the magic stuff. So that's why the input action is much better to use instead of using the E key. And another thing that I wanted to give you an information is rather than using the input from here, I'll just simply disable that. Rather than using an input from there, we will be using an input given to a player. So we can simply say enable input. This is a function, and it says the target is the actor. So the target is this particular actor. So we need to give this access, this E key, to be controlled by a player. And which player we need to control is, we can select it. We can simply search for player, and we have the get player controller. We also have multiple different options, like we can get the player controller from an input device. We can get the player controller from an ID. If you know what ID is like given to a specific like actor. So you can simply select that. Now this is a local player, and we are not using any like a network configuration, so we don't need to do that a local thing. Let's say get player controller here. So when you say player controller, it will give you an index of 0. So the same as before, it says player 0. That means that is our first player. Remember, the first information starts from 0. So we need just the first player, and we need to connect into the begin play. So as soon as the game is played, we will take the input from the player and give it to this target, so it will perform the action. So let's just compile and save it. And now when I press E, it's working. Great. So now that's settled. Let me delete this here. So now let's create a blueprint. C++. Let's go to an actor, given different name. I'll say print key actor. I'll open it. And what we can do is we can simply copy those inside here and perform the same operation. But let's just make it some notes. So this first note that I want to keep is reload it. So the first information that we see inside. Okay, great. That is done. Print E. Let's go to the event graph. So here we see multiple information. What is the first information that we see? What we are doing inside the begin play. So you can simply write it here. Begin play. We are assigning an input. We are enabling input. Right? We are enabling input for this actor from the player. Right? Player controller here. Yeah, great. So now we have that information right here. I'll just make some space. It's easier to see. So in the begin play, we are enabling input for this actor from the player controller. Let's take that information. Let's go to the begin play first. And we can simply search for enable input. When I enable the input, I can check if I have an access to any function. Since it doesn't have any function, we can open a bracket, or we can even use the dot to access the other attributes. So it doesn't have an attribute. So now we'll say it's a function. So when we have this function, we have to pass a player controller. So let's search for player controller. So we have this a player controller, but that is a class, so we cannot pass a class inside. What we can do is we can say get player controller. We don't have get player controller either, so It's because what happens is we are not giving information from where we need the player from, because this level is considered one whole world. That's the name that I tried to search, and I got that information that the whole level is considered world itself. So whatever I put inside should give me a reference to that. So let's go back and we'll search for get world. So now you see we have get world here, and it's also a function, and what it will represent is we are getting an information from that. So we can say we need the get player controller, so we have get first player controller, since we are needing just the first player. So yeah, and it's giving me an error because it's also a function. So now that's settled. Let's type in input, and we can see we have input component. Remember, we in the blueprint, when you see here, we have all these components. These are all components. Even I add a function here, that is still a part of this project. But mostly in C++, what happens is whenever you make something, it will always go inside the component. So this time I'm enabling the input. It will always select it as like a different component. It won't act as a blueprint because we are not needing a blueprint. So let's go back, and we can do that, and let's try to see what information we can get. So when I press dot, I can access some attributes. I can get the name. So we don't have binding and keyword. So we will do this instead. Let's search for bind. So now we have a couple of binding information. We can bind an action like summon. We can bind a key like E or F, or doesn't matter. So when I go to bind key, you see the information that we put is we give the information for which key we want to press, then the key event, which is like released or pressed, then we assign which it is for which object. Is it for this actor, or is it for component within this actor? And then we assign a function. The function means this. In our case, this is a function. You see an F on top. So the print string is a function. You remember the last time when we print the information? It is this game engine thing. So this time we want to create a function for this. So let's give a function name. I'm putting in the public. You can even put inside the protected as well. It doesn't matter too much. Okay, let's do this here. Let's call it u function. Oh, I'm typing u function because it is a nice gesture to put it, because it has a garbage collection and a couple of other settings to perform. And what garbage collection does is whenever you run a game, it creates like a temporary files. For example, player scores or player data. And what will happen when your game crashes, right? So the data will remain there, but the only issue is that the code, all the data will be stayed there. Let me give you an information on that. Imagine you have player score. .txt. So now this has all the information of the player score. But as soon as the game crashes, it starts to boot again. It will sometimes create an issue that we cannot overwrite the data, so the game crashes again. Or it can also create a different extension or different name, and the new file will name the same from before, playerscore.txt. But it will use up your memory. That's the thing. This will increase the size of the game. And it's not just one file, it can be multiple files. And you can assign the function to be called, like we can pass some certain values. You can say blueprint callable. So that means I can call this function inside the blueprint, as you see here, like a print string. Let's do that. So I can show you. You can say blueprint callable, and we can assign a couple of other information to it as well. We have blueprint pure, but we don't need to do that other stuff. So let's just say blueprint callable, and we can say void. It has a return type void, and we can give let's say someone started. Okay, let's clean that out, and let's just copy that, and let's do that for someone cancel. It's an optional thing. I don't want, like, if you can do it though. So someone cancel, and let's say someone cancel here. But now we need to define this function inside the CPP here or somewhere on the top. What I can do is simply go to here and say like the potential fix and create a definition. I mean, I'm lazy, so I don't want to do it on my own, but yeah. You may also wonder why there is an A here. It's because of an actor. This is an actor class, so Unreal by default gives an A on the start of the CPP file. Okay, but it should represent the name itself as of the same file. So yeah, now we have someone started, someone cancelled. Let's do one thing. Let's go back CPP. Let's copy that, and let's just paste it here. When we can say when this function is called, when we press the button, it should say summoning started, and let's just copy that and paste it here, and you can say summoning cancel. Yeah, summoning cancel, summoning fail, doesn't matter too much. And let's just change the color. I'll say red, and I'll say blue. Great. So now here when we go, we search for bind action, because we want to use the summon keyword as the action that we wrote it. So now we have that action. What else information we can pass is the input event. So the short form we have to use, it's called IE, and when you press underscore you have multiple informations like IE access, double click, press, release, repeat. So when you press it, we need to perform certain operation, and it is for which object. It says user class, so which user it belongs to. So it belongs to this particular actor. We'll just type it this, and then we need to give a method, like a function, to call in. In our case, the method is someone started. So let's just copy that, paste it here. So now we have someone started. I'll just put a semicolon, and I'll just copy that, and I'll put that as the same as released. Okay, great. So now we are settled with that. let's go back and recompile it. But before recompiling, every time you need to save a project. It's because sometimes when you're compiling, it will crash down. So yeah. Okay, great. So let's just recompile it to see if there is no error. And we have an error. It says we need to use an and to create a reference and like to create a pointer, right? It's because when you create this function, right? I mean, this is a constructor, and these are the functions inside that has been called multiple times. So we need to give as a reference here. So just press an ampersand key here and just save it. And now we will have one more issue. It won't work because we have two summon started. So let's just change that to cancel. I forgot to do that before, so yeah. Okay, let's go back. And oh yeah, I need to recompile it again. This time, yeah, it's good. We don't have any errors. So yeah, let's go back to the second and let's create a new blueprint and search for my print key actor, and I'll just say summon, and I'll save it. And what I can do is can just open it up and copy the same values from before, so I know which represents which. And I'm just gonna put summon. Yeah, let's give it a different color. Okay, so I set the material to grass. Okay, so now we have summon. Save it. Let's go back. Let's just add it here somewhere. And hit play. Oh. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Okay, let's just lift it up. Okay, now I'm pressing Q. It says summoning started, summoning cancelled, summoning started, summoning cancelled. And I'm pressing 1, 2. So now this is 1. Yeah, so it's working. And so we are down to 2 challenges. We are done with this too. Let's just cut it and put it here. Okay, now let's just save all. I will be posting another video for the other challenges. I don't want this to be too long.